Now TVS has a certain flair about it, right? I mean, look at the kind of motorcycles that they're coming up with. The 200 RTR, the 310 RR. But what about the guys in the middle? Well, for them, they have this. The Apache 160 4V. Now they already have a 160 variant in the market, but this one comes with fuel injection. Now I'm here in Bangalore at the Hoso track to find out whether fuel injection really makes this a beast or not. The fact that I was on a racetrack gave me the freedom to really test the new Apache RTR 160 4V's true power. But before we hit the track, let's get the obvious out of the way. The new design of the 160cc Apache. There are a lot of first-time additions in this two-wheeler, and that just sweetens the deal. Like the LCD instrument cluster, the headlights, and even the turn indicators. All inspired by the RTR 200. Oh, and how can I forget? It now comes with fuel injection. But we'll get to that later. The overall ergonomics screams sportiness, and it's definitely capable of turning some heads on the streets. And the headlamp cluster, just wow. The 12-litre fuel tank is wide and intimidating, decorated with racing stripe decals. The rear tapers out to a raised tail with split handrails and an all-LED tail light. The double exhaust muffler is the same we saw on the 200 RTR. The handlebar is a bit underwhelming and simple, robs the bike of that sporty demeanor. The horizontal instrument cluster offers a bevy of features like an odometer, fuel indicator, while the FI variant adds a gear indicator and a lap time display. With a 160cc engine, the bike is capable of churning out maximum power of 16.8 PS on the FI variant, while 16.5 on the carburetor variant. Both offer the same amount of torque at 14.8 Newton-meters. The initial burst to 60 is fantastic and the transmission is smooth, but getting to 100 does take its own sweet time. I felt the engine was a bit strained when shifting beyond the third gear. Heat management is well taken care of thanks to an oil-cooled system. Okay, so the Apache 160-4V comes in two variants, the carburetor and the fuel injection. The one I'm riding is the fuel injection variant, definitely has more power on the track. And although as you can see it's raining, I wasn't expecting this, but again on wet roads it's perfectly balanced, braking is fine.
While the front sports a telescopic suspension, the rear receives a Showa monoshock for the first time. Since TVS is also offering off-road tires with the bike, it's safe to assume that the suspension ought to be good. I am disappointed that TVS hasn't offered an ABS variant. With a starting price of 81,490 rupees for the carburetor variant, it seems that this is some serious trouble for the competition.
Alright, final verdict. TVS, you've done a good job with this one. I mean, fuel injection works like a charm on the new 160-4V. Now, this bike is in direct competition with the likes of the 160 NS and the Gixxer and the newly launched Honda X Blade. I rode it, I found it to be a very good machine, but when it hits out in the market, I don't know how it's going to perform on the roads, but hopefully, as it was on the track, it's going to be definitely something to look forward to.